Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome to The Simple Life. My name is El, and in today's episode, we're doing cocktails. As it's just now starting to get a little warmer outside, I want to cover a few of my favorite summer drinks. We're starting off with a really floral and herbal drink that just recently gained a lot of popularity as people tend to get more and more creative in the cocktail world. We're taking a twist on a gin basil smash. I believe it was invented in 2008 by a German fella named Jörg Meyer, and it's in a way a counterpart to a mojito, replacing rum for gin and mint for basil. We're starting off by tearing apart a few basil leaves and just lightly muddling some of the aroma out of them.
Next up, we're adding 30 ml or 1 ounce of fresh lime juice. And yeah, you heard me say it. In bar terminology, it is for once accepted to use imperial measurements as most jiggers use it. For everything else, you're still wrong to use imperial. The original basil smash called for 3/4 of an ounce simple syrup. I however like to mix it up with basil and cucumber syrup for added depth. General rule of thumb for mixing cocktails is to always work your way up in ingredient prices, so you don't need to throw away any expensive spirits if anything fails along the way. We're finishing by adding 60 ml of London dry gin. I prefer to match a floral citrusy gin, but this is a place to get creative or let your preferences come into play. I'm roughly crushing up a large ice cube. The smaller pieces are there to dilute our drink, and the larger pieces are going to cool it down during shaking. You want to start off slowly. As the air starts to cool down and contract, you will create an airtight seal that allows you to go harder on the shaking. Since the leaves in here aren't pretty anymore, and basil tends to get bitter when it's crushed, I'm straining this drink and I'm using a fresh sprig of basil as garnish.
And there you have it, a beautiful, refreshing summer drink. Let's give it a taste. Wow. So we have this really nice combination of sweet and sour going on. As a base, this is mostly a gin sour after all. And then you have these really nice herbal basil notes that just work great with the botanicals from the gin. And it is really important to garnish nicer drinks. Like, when I go in to drink this, just the aromatic smell of the basil and the visual appeal really just elevates the cocktail onto a whole new level. So that is something to keep in mind when doing cocktails. Okay, next up we're going to stay in the realm of sours and we're going to take a look at a classic Daiquiri. It's a Cuban staple, it's really simple, it's one of these 3 ingredient drinks that is just great.
We're mixing up equal parts of fresh lime juice and simple syrup, 30 ml each. Fresh juices and high quality citrus are probably the easiest way to improve the quality of any cocktail. And for our rum, we're staying traditional with a young Cuban rum. I'm using Havana 3 year. We're using a lot of ice to make a more frothy drink. Make sure to serve in a chilled glass, as we're not pouring this one over ice. And if you want to be a little extra, you could do a dark rum float on top. And there you have your classic Daiquiri.
This is just worlds apart from those slushy machine, mango, peach, strawberry Daiquiri smoothies you find on the beach. Not to say that anything is wrong with that, it's just so much more pure and defined. You get these really sweet and sour notes on the beginning. It is really tart, but also very light, and just finishing on the dark rum gives it this really nice toasted sugar flavor. It's just crazy nice for summer. This is a really well-balanced cocktail. Any kind of sour cocktail, like a whiskey sour, a gin sour, at the end of the day, this is a rum sour. You don't really notice the alcohol, and this is dangerous. They go down so easily, you don't even know it. Okay. So finally, we're moving on to something a little more fizzy, a little lighter, and not quite in the double digits when it comes to alcohol percentage. We're visiting the Buck family by making a Lillet Buck. So Bucks and Mules are similar cocktails. They both consist of a spirit, your choice of citrus, and when it comes to Bucks, you would use the sweeter, more mellow ginger ale, and in Mules, we're using ginger beer, which is a lot more intense and is a little spicy sometimes. The Thomas Henry ginger beer is actually called spicy ginger. On Lillet's official website, this recipe we're going to do is referred to as the Lillet Buck, which is kind of wrong because they actually suggest to do it with ginger beer as well, so it would be a Lillet Mule. Great thing is, I don't care. Ginger beer is better in any way, and I don't see why you would ever use ginger ale over ginger beer. But first, let's talk about Lillet. Lillet, similar to vermouth, is a fortified aromatized wine. It's basically aged white wine that had spices, herbs, and citrus added to it. I think this is a very accessible product. Aperitifs in general, I believe, are a little underrated. They're very easy to drink, and even your friends that might not be into any kind of boozy cocktails, I believe will appreciate this quite a lot.
I'm just eyeballing a base of Lillet and shaving some ice to fit our glass. All we do from here is just squeeze and drop a few lime wedges and fill up with ginger beer.
So this is just a great all-around afternoon drink. It's not too heavy on alcohol. It has these great herbal notes from the Lillet, which balances out the spicy ginger quite well. If you never had spicy ginger, especially the Thomas Henry version, that stuff is actually a little spicy on the end. And I'm not saying that because I'm white. It just balances the sweetness and the tang out quite well, and this is a very well balanced drink. And the best thing is, you can mix it with tonic, wild berry, or even just soda. This is a great all-around drink, and I think people don't give aperitifs the love they deserve.
Thank you so much for watching. Do you have any other cocktails you want to see covered on the show? If you liked the video, browse the channel or check out the videos on the screen right now. You can find a full equipment list of everything I use for the show in the video description. Let me know how you like the new format, and I will see you next video.